Vaseline on my face.
And welcome to our Faculty of Arts and Social Science live Q&A. All questions can be sent to our WhatsApp number 083 792 1207. All questions that will not be answered tonight, you can forward to the email address lek@sun.ac.za. And I welcome you, and I would like to welcome our fellow esteemed guests. If you would like to please introduce yourselves or what you do at the university.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Professor Fasti Ruud. I am the Vice Dean for Teaching and Learning in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. So maybe just to explain to you what on earth is the Vice Dean. So the faculty is like a house, a whole lot of different rooms in it. The different rooms are the different subjects that you can study, and they are located in different departments. And then overseeing the house is the dean. And then there are two vice deans who help the dean, and I'm the vice dean for teaching and learning. So I'm the one who is kind of the point of connection between the dean's office and students.
Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, I should say. My name is Zabin Anders, and I am a student relations faculty advisor for the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. We are colloquially known as BOSC, the Bachelor of Arts and Social Science Committee, and our job is to represent the needs of the students and to communicate that with the lecturers or other staff members.
Good evening, everybody. I am Cheryl Richardson. I am the faculty administrator for the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, and I'm responsible for the undergraduate admissions in the faculty to monitor them, applications that come in, if people meet the requirements, and then also based on our selection guidelines to do the selection throughout the year.
Okay, so I quickly want to start off with this question for those that have been accepted or are waiting to be accepted into university. How would you advise students on adapting to the transition from high school to university? Because it's a massive jump.
So I think I'll answer that. So the greatest piece of advice I can advise someone who is going to enter that, I would say it's a relatively large gap from high school to university, is that you need to adapt in the way that you have studied and how that will change, and the way class systems will work. So when I say class systems, I mean subjects are not as spoon-fed in university as it is in matric now for most of you. It is very much a system where if you do not do the work yourself, you will not see the results of the hard work you wish you had put in. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Just a quick question here from Varesh. They ask, basically they say their question relates to the entry requirements for BA and the need for maths for entry into informatics, social and organizational, as well as for psychology. They ask, can you confirm that 70% and above for maths literacy is sufficient for entry into these sub-programs, and whether a specific threshold is required for the NBTs in addition to the 70% for maths lit?
Okay, so I think I'll take this question. So for admission into the socio-informatics and organizational informatics subjects, you do need a 70% average with math literacy. Psychology does not have a requirement for mathematics. It's just a subject that you can choose within the degree of humanities. And then the NBTs are not required for admission to the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences in any of our programs, except for applicants that are following the School of Tomorrow school curriculum.
Okay, so this question comes in from Nas. Nas says, for his daughter who has been accepted for BA International Studies, he would like to know, can one do an LLB afterwards, or transfer to BA Law LLB after a year or two?
Yes, I think that one's also for me. Yes, after finishing any degree, you can apply for the postgraduate LLB program, which is a 3-year program. There is a possibility that you can switch maybe after finishing a year or 2 years into an LLB or a BA Law, but those admission requirements is handled by the Faculty of Law, so it's best to ask them exactly how that transfer would work if you're switching mid-degree.
Okay, and so another question from Nas is asking, are any of the classes online or are all in person?
I can answer that. So our principle is that this is a residential university. So you have applied at Stellenbosch University and not at UNISA, for example. So the classes are in person. However, there are also systems in place that allow in some classrooms and in some subjects that allow for live streaming of some of the classes. It still means that you have to be actually present in front of your computer and you have to participate. So it's not as if it's sort of all recorded and you just follow it online, in your own time when you feel like it. And attendance register will still be taken and you have to be present in your class. So I would say probably 90% of all your lectures will be in person, where you're in a classroom. Some of them, especially in the very, very large classes, and where there are many small group divisions, which we call tutorials. So where there are many tutorial groups, sometimes you will find that your tutorial group will meet online rather than in a classroom.
Okay, thank you. So we have one from Kate Tanner. Tanner is asking, she says, or they say, I received a conditional acceptance for BA Humanities and I received an offer for BA Development and Environmental Studies. My first choice is Humanities. When will I know if I have an offer for Humanities? If I accept Development and Environmental Studies, do I lose my chance of being accepted for Humanities?
So I'll take this one. We've kind of hit a little snag when it comes to the issuing of admission letters, which has been resolved. We received a message today that we can go ahead and sending offer letters again. So that is also why you have not received the offer letter for Humanities yet. We've kind of lined you up to get an offer, but it was held back due to the technical glitch. We're going to start sending offer letters again, so maybe later this week. But if you do accept the Development and Environment's offer, you can still change it up until the end of September to the Humanities one. But you will receive the offer soon.
Okay, and fantastic. Here from Kay says, hi, if I've applied and then changed my mind or want to apply for an additional degree, would I do that using the same student applicant number?
Yeah, I think that's also for me. Yes, you would actually have to send an email to the Client Service Center at info@sun.ac.za. You will quote your APP number and you will ask them to change one of the programs that you have applied for. You're only allowed to apply for 3 programs, so that is why you would then have to say, I no longer want to apply for this program, but rather this one. And then someone at the Central Application Office will make the change for you.
Okay, fantastic. Now, I quickly want to ask this question, what can first years expect in terms of assessments and assignments? Because it is obviously a lot different to what high school is.
Shall I take it, or you want to say?
You can take it first.
Well, maybe let's hear from a student first, what your experience was.
Okay, what was the question again? What can they expect from the exams or assessments?
Expect in terms of assessments and assignments.
So at this university, assessments are broken up into, I don't know what the A stands for actually. Assessments. It stands for assessment, and it's generally assessment 1, assessment 2, and then a third option assessment, or A3s, which is generally the optional one if you can't make it to an A2. And like as Fasti said, we have something called tutorials. Most of the exams or tests will take place during tutorials, and those generally mark up to a larger mark. So it would be, you have 4 tutorials in a term. Those 3 of those tutorials will be exams, and then there will be 1 essay, and that will mark up to, like, let's say 50% of the total grade.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Can I also just add a bit to that? So it's also true that you it will depend on your subjects as well. So different subjects may assess in slightly different ways. So for instance, if you do a language, a lot of the assessments there are going to be orals, right? Because you have to learn how to speak the language. If you're doing drama, then some of your assessments are going to involve performance and so on. And in other subjects, again, you are going to write essays. In your first year, you will write essays that you can be guaranteed, but they tend not to be such very long essays. As you progress through your studies, those essays will also get longer. So there will be essays. There will be indeed shorter tutorial tests. There will be orals, there may be performances. So it really depends on what you study, but it will be quite different from what you're used to at school.
Okay, now this one comes from Boikanyo. They ask, I have applied but have not received any offer yet. Would like to know if the selection process is still underway.
Yes, selection is still underway. So we do a incremental selection with different phases. It all just depends on what your averages are and where our selection point is at the moment. But we will be doing selections probably until towards the end of September still.
Okay, the questions are rolling in, guys. So Martha is asking, how can I transition from the arts and social major to a law major? What processes do I have to take?
So, well, there are various options. Like I said before, it's if you can decide to finish your BA degree first, your 3-year BA, or any other degree for that matter, and then apply for the postgraduate LLB degree program, or you can apply for a transfer after your first or second year into either a BA law or an LLB program. But selection for those programs all happen within the Faculty of Law, so they will be able to give you more detailed explanation of what they look at when they receive a transfer application or an application for the postgrad law program.
Okay, so from Samantha's asking, what are the bursary mark requirements for BA International Studies?
Oh, that is actually a question for the bursary department. I don't know how bursaries are allocated. I'm not sure if there are mark requirements for those things, but we would be best to maybe look out for a session from the bursary department that can maybe answer your question.
Okay. This one comes in from Ames. For someone who is applying for a fine art degree, should you wait for an offer after applying before starting with the portfolio, or immediately start with the portfolio?
So the portfolio is very, very important for the visual arts program. Selection for the arts program cannot be done without the portfolio. So you will see when you download the portfolio requirements, there's a specific deadline for it to be in. And the Department of Visual Arts will not be able to consider your application if they don't see your portfolio, because they look at all the portfolios presented to them at one time and then make a decision based on what they have in front of you. So if you don't submit a portfolio, then you cannot be considered and your application is automatically unsuccessful.
A very important question coming here from Varesh once again is, can you describe how the dual language medium in the lectures work practically? Are students handed out headsets? Then I assume test exams are in both languages.
I can answer that. Yeah. So the principle is that you will hear and be able to read everything in English. If you also wish to have your lecture, to hear your lecture presented in Afrikaans, then yes, you have to, you can sign up for this. So in the first 3 weeks, I think, of lectures, you can say, oh, I'd like to follow this particular class or this particular subject, or all my subjects for that matter. I would like it to have a simultaneous translation. You are not issued with a headset. You need your own earphones or headphones. You plug it into your phone, and there is simultaneous translation. There is a process, and you will be helped to connect via your phone, and then you'll be able to just listen to the lecture interpreted into Afrikaans on your phone. You can write all your assessments in either English or Afrikaans, and your readings, most of the prescribed reading will be in English. I think really all the prescribed reading will be in English, except of course if you take French or German or isiXhosa or Afrikaans for that matter, then your readings will be in that language.
Thank you for that. So this one comes from Bryson. It's more of a concern than an actual question, but they say the website is giving them problems, so they can't finish their application. Any updates on that?
I think it's best that you contact the Client Service Center, either via email at info@sun or telephonically 021 808 9111. The client service officers are trained to assist you with any technical issues. If they can't solve it, they will know what the next route is. If they need to report it to the technical team, but it's best to start with them.
Okay, and from another WhatsApp person here, do you have to do the NBTs to get accepted to Stellenbosch, or are you able to get accepted without doing the NBTs?
The NBTs are not required for Stellenbosch, well, for the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. There are some faculties that do use it, but not us. For us, only if the applicants are doing the school curriculum of School of Tomorrow, then they have to write the NBT test because it's part of the selection process.
And this question coming in from Carol. Carol's asking, if you as a student need additional support, where can you get additional support?
It really depends on what kind of support you need. So we've got the Center for Student Counseling and Development on campus that is there for psychological assistance if you need to see a psychologist, if you need to talk about any issues that you have, assistance with study methods and time management. We've got the writing lab that will also assist you how to write up assessments, how to do your referencing properly, those kinds of things. We've got Admin A, which is where I work. We have an open door policy. You can come and chat to either myself or one of the other faculty officers with regards to what you require, and then we will take you and guide you from there. But there's normally a lot of assistance available on campus. It just depends on what your needs are.
Can I add something also? Our faculty also has a student support coordinator. So she's in her office 5 days a week, and she is often your first and best stop for support, because she can tell you where to go. She can direct you to go, for example, to Administration A or to Student Counseling and Development. So the Disability Office, there are various places where you can find support. So although you've heard now that the university is very different from school, and it is a sort of it's a leap. It's a change from what you're used to. It's also not that we just sort of throw you in at the deep end and then just let you drown. There is a lot of support, and you will also be informed about what the support is. You'll have contact numbers, you will have emails, you will know where to go when you arrive here.
Okay, and this one from Chesney, she says, if I have a conditional offer letter that says depending meeting entry level requirements during final exam, does that mean if I meet the entry level during my final exam, I automatically be accepted?
Yes. So what that means is that with your final matric results, you need to at least meet the basic requirements that the program that you've been admitted to requires from you. And then you will know that you will get a final offer letter in January when we send it out.
Okay, and another thing with the whole application to universities, obviously the applications to accommodation, Chesney also asked, do you know when we can expect outcomes on accommodation applications?
That normally happens later on in the year, but there is a session tomorrow, I think, or sometime this week, with regards to residence placement and the requirements for that. So maybe just check the schedule and come ask your question again, and they'll help.
Okay, we have one here from Sleaze. They're asking, they wanted to know if they have submitted their application. Does the university send an email back that says the application is in process, or they replied back that they at least received it? They say, so if so, I'm having difficulties figuring out if my application went through or not.
So with the application system, you get continuous messages of how your application is going through the different phases up until the point where it is reviewed by the application office and then sent to my office for consideration. You should get an email to say that the application has been submitted, and then another one to say if your documents have been verified, and another one to say that it has been reviewed. So you should get about 3 or 4 emails. I would refer you to the Client Service Center, just so that they can check up and see if there's a glitch somewhere, and to try and assist you to get the application through.
Okay, we've got another question here from Ames asking, as a student with a wheelchair, how lenient would the visual arts department be in terms of assignment deadlines, etc.? If you could maybe also answer that question on a broader university perspective.
I think Basti, let's take this one.
Yeah. So we have, there is a disability unit that oversees the placement and support for students across campus. If it's a matter of visual arts, it depends on, so let me say this. Students can apply for various kinds of concessions depending on what your specific needs are. You can apply. It's not a guarantee that you will receive it. It depends on whether your particular circumstances are such that they do not allow you to complete particular tasks, particular assessments under particular circumstances. So in the case, let's say, of visual arts, so if you are in a wheelchair, it depends on what the assignment is that is at stake. So, and if there is any reason why the fact that you are in a wheelchair makes it harder for you to complete a drawing or a painting or type up an assignment for that matter. So it will really depend on your particular circumstances, but the university is very much focused on supporting students with disabilities in ways that allow for reasonable accommodation. So we can't promise accommodation, but we do our best.
Okay, thank you. So we would also like to know what are the steps for students to follow after they have received their matric results?
Well, there's not a lot that you can do, really. If you are following the NSC school curriculum, IEB or Sakai curriculum, your results are sent directly to us from the Department of Education, so you don't need to do anything else. If we can't match your results with your application, we will actually send you a message to say, can you please send us your matric results so that we can add it to the to your application and update your application. But that happens in January after the matric results become available. And then if you are following the any international school curriculum, you will get an email from the Central Application Office with instructions of where to upload your final school leaving results. But we are in constant communication with you in terms of what you need to do.
Okay, we've got one from Aya. Aya's asking, if I have an N4 certificate, can I be admitted at Stellenbosch University?
No. We only consider NSC, IB, Sakai, and then obviously the international school curriculums. The N4 is not accepted.
Another important question here. Are textbooks still required in this age of technology?
Well, that is for you. Does anybody require you to have textbooks?
Some modules will require you to physically buy textbooks. The majority of the time, readings will be made available to the students digitally. If you want to buy the textbooks, and I would highly recommend you actually do buy physical textbooks, it helps a lot, especially if you have content-heavy modules like psychology, sociology, overlap languages like Xhosa, Afrikaans, and Nederlands. The textbooks help a lot.
Okay, then this one comes in from, who is this from? This one is once again from Nas. Nas is asking to please explain what the School of Tomorrow is.
School of Tomorrow is just a different school curriculum. I do not have a lot of information on that school curriculum. It's more of a homeschooling curriculum, and yeah, so I think if you want more information on that, I would probably refer you. They've got a website, but then our international office also has a session sometime this week. Maybe you can just also sign into that session and ask them a little bit more information on that. But it's actually just a different school curriculum.
This question comes in from Ray. Ray asking, they say they currently applied at Stellenbosch University again for BA in teaching, and they were conditionally accepted with their grade 11 results. Sadly, they didn't make it with a grade 12, and they're currently repeating their grade 12, and they've added their proof of rewriting onto the application, but still got rejected without the new results being uploaded.
So I'm not sure if you, because we don't offer a BA in teaching. There is a B.Ed program, but that is that's offered by the Faculty of Education, and I'm not sure how they are handling their applications. If you apply for a BA Humanities or Language and Culture, any of our general programs, where you indicate on the application that your current activities that you are redoing grade 12 subjects, we will actually send you an email with a link to ask you for some more information when you are writing, with instructions of what to do when you receive those new results. So and your application is then put on a waiting list. But that's what happens in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. I'm not sure about the Faculty of Education.
Okay, and just a quick question, you that is currently still busy studying and all of that, what has your journey been like so far? Any highlights, any lowlights, any tips?
So I would generally say when you are first year, everything seems very overwhelming, and at certain times it can be. But you need to calm down, collect yourself, and pick yourself up again. My lowest light, I would say, is when I had changed, because I initially started as a social work student, then I moved over to humanities. That was both my lowest and my highest moment. The lowest because it feels like you failed. The highest because of the lecturers and staff, they make you feel comfortable changing your program and giving you the assurance that you're not making the wrong choice, that this is the best for you, it's your future, and that admitting that you failed in something isn't the same as giving up because you failed at something.
So we have a couple of minutes left just for those. If your question has not been answered this evening, please send your emails to lek@sun.ac.za and your question will be answered. But I just want to ask from the three of you, any other advice or tips you'd like to give prospective students, may it be via application or just studying in general?
One bit of advice is it seems like you're applying for a program now, and it might feel as if it's like you're signing a contract with the universe. You now have to go and study. You've picked whatever, BA, human resources, human resource management, and now you are stuck there forever. And as you've just heard, it's possible to change your program. So you also don't need to think that you have only one chance to pick the right program, and it better be the right decision, otherwise your life is over. It's not like that. You pick the program that looks to you like it's going to work the best, be the best fit, and if you discover that it's not, it's possible to change. So, as you said, relax.
My advice would just be invest in a pair of good walking shoes. You will underestimate the amount of walking you will do on this campus. It will catch you off guard. If you drive a car, park one place, leave it there, just walk.
My advice is more geared towards the parents of the applicants, because I get lots of these walk-ins at the beginning of the year, and then it's normally too late. So please listen to what your child wants to study. Yes, I know it's all about job security and all of those things, but it's better to have a child be happy studying a degree that they want to do. Then you know they're going to make a success of it. Then persuading them to study something that they don't necessarily, that's not their first choice, and then they're unhappy and they want to switch, but then by the time they get to my office, then it's too late to switch. So please just listen to them.
And unfortunately, that's all the time we have. I want to thank you for your time this evening, and we're excited for the new students coming coming this way. And just if your question has not been answered this evening, once again, please just email lek@sun.ac.za. And thank you for joining us at the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences live broadcast and Q&A.